So we've all been scrolling the web pages and seeing the advertisements for these assortment of different sandblasters. They all claim to be DIY friendly. So let's run through them all and work out if any of them are right for you. Oh, come on. Now, sandblasters on the whole are a fairly heavily debated topic in the DIY and restoration world. A lot of people say that they're just not worthwhile to try and do at home as a DIYer. One of the biggest sticking points that most people have against sandblasting is that you need a very large compressor to do it effectively. Now, this old Renegade is 15 CFM. It's about as big as you can get in a single phase unit. You can use a smaller unit, one of those little local hardware store $100, $200 units will work, but they will only work for a couple of seconds, then you have to let them recharge. It's very frustrating, it's very time consuming, and unless you're doing really small parts, it's just not worth the amount of headache it's going to cause you. So that's something to keep in mind when you're looking at doing this. But what if we could substitute the air for something else? Say, water pressure, that are a couple of $100 and fairly easy to come by. How does this stack up against an air run unit? Well, that's what we're going to find out. So let's test it and see how they go. Okay, so let's start with probably one of the most common ones. So this here is a little handheld shot blaster, and you will undoubtedly have seen a YouTube video or a Facebook video of someone making one of these out of a blowgun and an old Coke bottle, or a piece of pipe and an old Coke bottle. That's how basic they are. And they are usually $50 to $100 maybe. They're very cheap. The reason they're very cheap is because there isn't much to them. I don't hate these, but I don't use them much. I mean, you look at it, I've had it for about 6 years and it still looks like this. But I'll show you what it does. That'll give you an idea of why these are good in very particular circumstances. So what we're going to use is a 3060 Garnet. These little shot blasters tend to run better on a finer grip, but we'll see how it goes on this. Something else I forgot to mention, gloves. Because if you accidentally shoot yourself with this, it's going to suck. So what we're going to be blasting is this inner wheel spat. As you can see, it's quite rusty. It's got quite a lot of old sealant and bits and pieces on it. Like a lot of complex corners, so that's what this should be really good for. Funnels recommended. So a gun's worth. That should be enough for us to test it. And you can see it does work, and it seems to work reasonably well. But it is very slow, and it does run out very, very quickly. Okay, so you can see, did a pretty good job at stripping the paint off. It was okay for getting through the rust, and so this gun takes it takes 500 mil of garnet. You get maybe 30 seconds to a minute of blast time. So for little tiny spots, really good. For bigger stuff, not a chance. It is just for trying to get into corners and crevices that are too hard to get into with the sander. So good, but yeah, not my preferred. Also, look at how much mess. So that was 2 pots of garnet. Something to keep in mind. So next up we have this big boy. So this here is a 40 litre pot blaster. These are probably one of the ones you've seen, more often used by semi-professional shops or YouTubers and things. Probably about as big as you're going to run as a home hobbyist. One of these I think sets you back around about $200, and this is where you get into the debate about air demand. So these use a lot of air. Even with a big compressor, you're still going to struggle to run them efficiently. They are also really messy, and they do chew through quite a bit of blast media. They're not bad, I don't mind them, but they do have a tendency to clog up. Oops. These, big funnel. This is a 50 kilo bag of garnet. And I am unsure if it's going to be enough. Let's see how we go. Alright, so we seal that one up, plug that in, charge it. Use the full face shield because I got about 3 seconds of blast time out of the little gun before the recoil bouncing back in my face just upset me too much. I always feel like I'm channeling Bane putting this on.
You really adopted the rust. I was born to it. So far, it's very effective.
You can very quickly see this thing just chews through it a lot faster than the handheld blaster does. And you know, you've got a constant stream, so it's like adult colouring in. You know, you just go through and follow your lines and make it look all pretty, and it's actually quite satisfying to do. So it worked pretty good on the bigger stuff, but I wanted to see how it went with something complex. So we're going to have a go at doing this bonnet hinge. And as you can see, it still chews through it very, very quickly, and even with all the complex corners, doesn't really seem to be a problem. So, you know, that's something that's definitely worthwhile. Look at it, just chewing through everything. Okay, so we worked out it works okay on smaller parts. Let's see how it goes with something bigger. And just to make it interesting, what I'm going to do is we're going to put the pot blaster against the wet blaster and see how far we can get with 5 minutes of blast time. So I'll put a line down the middle of this somewhere. We'll do the pot blast from one side, we'll do the wet blaster on the other, and just see what it comes up like.
Probably should have taken the badges off.
So that's how far we got in 5 minutes, which realistically isn't bad. We did hit a couple of spots of filler and things, a couple of rust spots and bits and pieces, which slowed it down a little bit. But honestly, you could probably do a guard in an hour or so if you could keep the pressure constant and you didn't run out of media. So overall, I mean, I'm actually quite impressed with that. That's not bad for what it is. And if you're trying to get into these, you know, tight corners to figure out whether your spots are rusty and things, definitely worthwhile doing. So the last one that you've probably seen advertised quite a lot is the wet blaster. So it's an attachment that goes onto your pressure washer. Your siphon tube goes into a bucket of sand or a bag of sand, and you have an instant sandblaster, in theory. Now I'm a little skeptical of these things, mostly because the way they show them on the ads just seems a little bit too good, if that makes sense. But you know, they could be that good. This one was about 30 bucks, 40 bucks off Amazon. It's the smaller version. I've opted to use the smaller one with the smaller Karcher unit because I figure this is probably more likely what most people have at home. The bigger units that you see with the brass nozzles and, you know, the heavy tubes, they really need to run off like a big petrol style pressure washer, like 3200 PSI or so. This is what most people have, so this is what I'm going to show. If you guys want to see the big one, we can do that, but for now, let's try this and we'll see how it goes. All right, here comes the sand. I mean, it's doing okay, but it's not fantastic. Flow is really inconsistent. Let's try it with a bucket maybe. Let's see if that helps at all, maybe. Let's try the wet blaster and see how that compares. Now, in order to keep this fair, fresh bucket of sand, full, same deal, 5 minutes, backside of the guard, see how they compare to the bigger blaster. Okay, so the wet blaster didn't get quite as far as the pot blaster did, but arguably they're not too far apart in terms of finish that you end up with. When you look at them side by side, the pot blaster is probably a little bit cleaner, and obviously, you know, we're already starting to get some flash rust from where the wet blaster hit, but honestly, for the setup that you need to run this is still very good. I'm actually surprisingly impressed. how they measure up against each other. The other thing to note is this is 30 to 60 grit. This feels more like an 80 to 120, like it's a lot smoother. So it actually is a less aggressive blaster, which is interesting. If you're trying to do this on a budget, I would definitely look at the wet blaster, funnily enough. I didn't think I'd say that. However, I had a thought. This could be quite good for cleaning parts. So let's try it on this gearbox. It is definitely good for parts cleaning. Just obviously be sort of careful and aware of the fact that it is sand, and you will end up wearing a lot of it. Like a lot of it. Everywhere. So I'm going to go shower and then we'll summarise, I guess. Okay, so final thoughts. These, they have a use. I wouldn't recommend them. Keep one on hand if you like. This thing, excellent. Really good unit for a DIYer if you have the space, if you have the air pressure, and if you are willing to deal with the mess. This thing, the wet blaster, I am very impressed with. I was very skeptical of this initially, but it surprised me how effective it is. And given that you can get into this for 150 bucks, to get into this, you're looking at closer to probably 1,000 by the time you get everything set up. For a DIY home job, that's a no-brainer. But let me know what you think. Let me know if you would like to see, some demonstrations of maybe even the bigger blaster, or something different. Maybe I missed something. Make sure you put it down in the comments. Let me know what you think, and like, comment, subscribe, do all those fun things. And thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.